that's gonna be coming in tonight. So I hope you guys are doing well. Um, it's been a while. Big shout out to you know all the Blues TV followers, subscribers. Um, you know, I just do really appreciate the fact that you guys have always been, the strength of this, the strength of this page. You guys have been, really, really doing an amazing job. Trying to, uh, you know, push everything towards greatness. We do really appreciate you guys are, you know, you're wonderful and honestly, uh, you guys are unbelievable. And as we keep going, I believe in you guys. I trust in you guys that you guys will always be here to support, to, you know, to keep this channel moving forward. So tonight is gonna be an amazing episode. Tonight is gonna be an amazing episode. I'm expecting a couple of people to join this broadcast, and we're just gonna talk about a lot of uh, amazing stuff. Especially players coming back from international breaks, and you know, yeah, it's just something that we will be talking about. Um, so yeah, how you guys doing? I hope you guys really enjoyed your international breaks, and yeah, it's so good to have you guys back on the track, and you know, uh, let's start discussing about Chelsea again. So it's an unbelievable 2 weeks breaks, and uh, I still believe that Chelsea is gonna make something happen. To be honest, in this last 10 stretch of the season, it's just about being committed, being focused, being you know um, ready to fight, ready to go. And yeah, we can absolutely finish you know above expectation, to be honest, if we can put in the hard work. Because when you look at the performance throughout the international break, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We have the likes of Rhys James and Enzo Fernandez, Cucurella, and yeah, they're making big impact in the international break. It's just something unbelievable, to be honest. And I'm just waiting patiently to have you know the guest uh, back on here. Then we can start you know talking about um, how we're gonna approach the coming games. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we can have um, the guest in here as soon as possible. Yeah, so like I said, I'm just still patiently waiting for our guest to come in. Then we can move on from there. And yeah, he is always so jealous up from the sky. And then, of course, Chelsea is on it. From Stamford Bridge to Wembley, we keep the blue flag high, high, fly higher in the sky. With the blue flag high, high. From Stamford Bridge to Wembley, we will keep the blue flag high, high. So it's good to have you guys here. We're just waiting for some few people to join. And we can start talking about we've had, to be honest with you, we've had an amazing international breaks, and looking forward to those games coming up. We've got 10 more straight to go for now. With nine uh, or eight Premier League games to go, and we still have Conference League in hand. So, you know, it's just a lot of things to talk about tonight. So, um, I'm just waiting for a few guests to come in. Then we can, definitely move on from there. Yeah, I have big tattoo from.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes, boss.
How you doing? How you doing? How's it? How's it, the blues?
I'm alright. You?
Tired,
Yeah,
man. I'm from
people.
work.
I know, to be honest, I know. I never
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah, yeah.
disturb you, but I feel like, you are a big fan, and honestly, you love to be in this kind of atmosphere.
True, true,
Yeah,
true, man. True, true.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I've got Mr. Joseph here as well.
Hey, Mr. Joseph.
How you doing, Blue brother?
Oh, great, great, man. Great. How's the blue? How you the blues? The blues.
I'm super crushed, man, but yeah, I gotta do this, man.
The blood is blue, bro.
Yeah, man.
Joseph, we need to see more of your face, is it? Yeah. Uh,
You get
yeah.
enjoy? Is it much better?
A little bit
Yeah, much
better.
better.
A little bit better. Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
much better now.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
how you guys doing today? I'm so sorry to bring you down. During this late hour, but I believe this kind of programs really do make sense during the night. People are settled down, maybe back from work, and just relaxing and a little bit of energy to talk about what we really like to talk about. So I'm not gonna take much of time. Let's just roll into business. We're back from international break, and you know, to be honest with you guys, I felt something that we had a couple of players down there in international break really doing well, the likes of James, Fernandez, Cucurella. So I'm still very much worried because we've got almost six, seven, eight players on international break. Does that mean we are good individually, or does it mean that we are not good coming together as a Chelsea, squad? Or I just want to let us talk about this particular issues, because when you look at the performance in international break, it's just mind blowing. But comparing it with the recent squad or recent performance, it's not just matching each other. So, what do you guys think about this?
Uh, I think collectively we haven't been good together, and then there's been
Yeah,
issues like injuries and stuff.
yeah,
For example, Enzo Fernandez, for instance,
yeah,
when he plays with his Argentine peers, he
yeah,
plays very well. But he's better in an Argentine shirt than in a
yeah,
Chelsea shirt.
yeah,
Yeah, he feels very comfortable at home.
yeah,
Whereas with Chelsea, it's wishy washy. Sometimes he can be great,
yeah,
sometimes not. You
yeah,
get it?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
So
Welcome to the channel,
I
Mr.
think
Tunde.
it's the Chelsea juggernaut hasn't really clicked into gear.
Yeah,
It's like we have one or two good games,
yeah,
and then we go back to default settings. You get it?
right.
Yeah. I
So
think that's the issue.
let's move on to Tato. So Tato, what can you say about this roller coaster of a thing? Players really doing well at international, but falling short, coming back to Chelsea to give optimum performance.
No,
Yeah,
it's all it's all about philosophy and
I think
about
this network is a little bit
like like
Yeah.
so
fluctuation.
in team. He's there with the likes of he's there with
Oops.
up there. He's
Tato, it looks like your network is a bit
James.
fluctuating. We couldn't. I don't know if it's just from my own side, but I don't know if others can really, really, hear what he's saying. Joseph, can you hear from Tato?
Nah, it's a bit
Did you get
blurry
me,
with
Joe?
tattoos. So you might have to adjust things over there.
Right. Okay, Mr. Tunde,
How
what,
is
what
the
do, let me quickly jump to Tunde and see
Yeah.
what we've got from him here.
So what was the question?
yeah, true, the network is
So, what we're saying is, players going to international break. We've got, up to six, seven players in international break. The likes of James, Enzo Fernandez and Cucurella and other guys, they're really doing well in international break. So, and coming back to Chelsea, they looks like, you know, a short back players, you know what I mean? And looking at both collectively playing for Chelsea, when you compare it with the performance, is it just that we are good individually as a player, or we are not just, you know, coming together as a good team?
I think it's
A little
Yeah,
bit,
you're clear. Carry on.
really, yeah.
Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 much better. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear you now. Yeah,
When you took off the phones, it was perfect. I mean, the headphones.
yeah. When you took off the headset, it was perfect.
Yeah, sorry guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of things. So
yeah,
firstly, they're playing with better players. And
yeah,
secondly, I think it's down to the manager's system.
yeah.
So like Enzo Fernandez now, it's not just this international break, it's all the time. He
Mm.
plays better for Argentina.
Yeah, yeah,
And although he plays slightly a different role, but this last international break, he plays sort of the role he plays at Chelsea, close to the
yeah.
box,
Push
close
more
to the.
forward, box to box. Yeah,
Yeah. So, but I think it boils down to them playing with better players. And the manager, honestly, obviously, I'm not Maresca out or anything. He's a good manager,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
think the system is a bit rigid.
yeah.
So I think it's down to that. Individually, they're good players, but at Chelsea, they're all not doing enough.
Really. Yeah, because when you look at Rhys James as well, he scored a goal against Latvia, and to me, I was just like, what if these boys are giving this kind of performance for Chelsea? Maybe we'll be in another level in the Premier League, but or is it the coach that is not really doing the right thing, or the players are not committed to the club, or I'm just a little bit skeptical because when you watch the international break, you're very happy about the performance and you're looking forward to more of that when coming back to the club. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's just something to talk about because we are not getting that kind of a performance where these guys are putting into the international break when they come back to the main club. So yeah, so let's just move forward. Let's talk about Jadon Sancho. I know this is not a new thing. It's been loads of rumor out there regarding Jadon Sancho. Yeah, we all know Chelsea have option of returning him back to United for a fine of £5 million. That's correct, and or we have an option to sign him for 25 million. So, what you guys think about this situation? What are you guys thinking? What's your opinion on?
Sancho, I think, has been a disappointment because he started with blistering pace and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden he's falling off the wagon. It seems like the issues that arose at United that made him come to Chelsea has
yeah,
come to the surface once more. So I'm not impressed with him at the moment. I rather we have Tyreek George,
mm,
and then let him come off the bench. He needs to develop his hunger. He's a good player, but I think with Sancho, it's more of him being caught up in his youth. Do you get it? Because
yeah,
these boys, they're being paid astronomical sums and they focusing more on social media than following
yeah,
scoring
yeah,
game. So
yeah,
Sancho, I think he's distracted. But if he focus on his game, he can be a great player. But at the moment, if he carries on like that, I would rather we pay the fine than make it permanent.
mm,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So, Tunde, what's your take on this? You know.
yeah. So with Sancho, is definitely not good enough for Chelsea.
Mm,
Like he came in at the start of the season. You could see it was giving all his best. When
yeah.
Sancho is giving all his best, he's a decent player. But
Mm,
at the end of the day, I still think Sancho is not the right profile for any team in the Premier League.
wow.
Like in the Premier League, it's
Yeah.
just too for a winger. It's not fast enough.
Mm,
it's a bit predictable. Like you know what Sancho is trying to do.
Yeah,
And if you look at compared to all the other wingers, they have like they're a bit more dynamic than Sancho.
yeah.
Sancho to me is like a one trick pony really.
But
I would.
that's
Yeah,
where I totally agree with you. But that's where the problem lies. Because Sancho, to his defense as well, he's arguably the most skillful winger. But it boils down to what I'm saying. He looks like he's not looking after himself well. He's getting caught up with distractions. Because if, how do we call it, he's got the stamina,
yeah.
he will be a great midfielder. So he needs to work on his stamina. And I think these boys are not looking after themselves well behind the scenes. You know,
Mm.
the girls and that. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is with Sancho.
The social
Because the other
media.
day he had Sweetie from America as his guest when we
Yeah,
played one game. I've forgotten what game
yeah,
it was. He had Sweetie there. You
yeah,
get it?
yeah.
The same way
But
Noni Madueke, that's how he had the hamstring injury. Because I know from experience, if obviously you dabbling with women here and there, you have to do the hamstring. That's what it is. That's what it is. These boys, but it's difficult. You know, the team played us cannot be sacked. It's
hey,
not because
Mi- Mr.
the
Joseph, I
famous
understand where you're coming
Ronaldo,
from. But you know
what kept them
Sancho,
at the top for so many years that we've been talking about them is because they are disciplined.
Yeah.
Do you get what
you
I'm
know this
coming from?
San
But these youngsters,
yeah.
they can help themselves. They want to enjoy their money. And unfortunately, those distractions are eating into the field of play. So Sancho, I think, if he can be focused on his football, he'll be a great player. But I don't think at the moment he's doing it because you see him places like Bundesliga, you can get away with it. Because
Mr. Joseph,
Bundesliga is
the
Spain.
voice is the voice is breaking a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
We can't hear
With
clearly.
the Premier League on the ball, it's fast paced. So if you're not well conditioned, you'll be found wanting. And I think that's the case for Sancho. The ability is there, but he lacks the physical.
Hmm.
That's what he needs to work.
Yeah, like I said, one thing I've really come to realize with these boys is, um, oof, there's a particular speaker that is rumbling within the coverage. I don't know which side is coming from. Um,
It's not me.
it's not your side, yeah. So there's just something that I've discovered with these players,
Yeah,
especially
I can't
when
hear
they.
you. That speaker cannot.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you can't hear me, yeah? It might be from my own side as well.
We can
Oh
hear
yeah,
you
I
by
think it's
phone.
from my side. It's definitely from my side. So yeah, to me, I feel like there's something that I really, really like discover from these guys. When they move out from a particular club, they want to prove themselves, especially first 5-10 games for their new clubs. It has been a tradition now. When you look at loads of players, especially when they can't prove themselves in Premier League and they have opportunity of moving out or moving to another club, they tend to like I don't know where the energy is coming from. Their first 5-10 games is they play like a machine, but afterward something start changing about them. Because to be honest with you, I watched Sancho first 3 games. I was like, wow. We started mocking United fans. Like, why would you let this kind of a winger, go just so easily? You bought this guy for 70 million pounds, and you know, but realistically, to come to see that Sancho has played 23 games with just 2 goals and 4 assists is something that you can't believe. So that means that performance is not welcome, it's not tolerated. But like I said, to me, I both agree with what you guys are saying, but I don't really know what goes wrong with these guys. When they move out from a club back to another club, they tend to perform in first 2, 3, 4, 5 games, then they are off, nothing else, you know.
So with Sancho, like I think that obviously the commitment is a big part of it, but
Mr. Tunde, I can't hear you from here. Can,
Can you hear me now?
Joseph, can you hear Tunde?
Can you
Hello?
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I think it keeps echoing on the background. I don't know where that's coming from.
What's going on? I can't hear. I can't hear.
I can hear both of you guys.
I can't hear from you guys at all. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
I'm
can hear
hearing
you.
all
Ooh,
the problem is it keeps echoing in the
what's going
background.
on?
You know?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's back. So can you guys hear me now?
The echo is back again.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Oh. So you guys have not been hearing me like
Hey,
what I said earlier.
Tuesday was making an important point.
Yeah. So
So
did you guys?
can you hear me
Yeah,
now
yeah,
though?
yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. So I said Sancho, I think it's just a commitment. It's a commitment thing, and this is not a new thing. It's the same thing at Man United. He's been at Manchester. He's been in Premier League for is it his third season? Yeah, third season.
Yeah, third season. Yeah,
So it's been the same point. It's the commitment. When he went back to Dortmund, the first few games as well in the Champions League, he played well, but everybody only saw the Champions League game against PSG. Even after that, he disappeared for Dortmund as well.
yeah,
I totally agree with you. I think there's something intrinsically wrong with him behind the scenes,
yeah,
which we don't know. Because it's like when maybe you're a man and you meet a beautiful lady who's 30-year old and you wonder, oh, why is she single? But once you get near her, then you understand why she's single. This
That's a good analogy.
yeah,
everything was you're perfectly right, Tunde. When he played for us the first 3 games, we were thinking, oh, Man United need their head examined. How
yeah,
did they sell such
yeah,
a
yeah,
But after a while, now we understand United without the letting go. So I
yeah,
think there
So
must be some behind the scenes. And I think totally agree with you. It must be it's a commitment issue.
yeah. So watch now. You know, since they've put this that he can go back to United, that there's a clause. Chelsea just have to pay 5 million. Watch him now. Till the end of season, he
it's
can
gonna.
fool us again.
Yeah, I think so because he doesn't want to go back to United.
He
I think
doesn't want to go back to United.
United is just like a rejection for him, somewhere that he doesn't want to think about. So I know he's probably gonna give a kind of performance. And another thing is, I'm thinking probably we can have him as a backup winger, maybe next season where we are serious about playing Champions League and competing for Premier League. And for that amount, £25 million for that young winger that can always improve every season. To me, I believe he can improve when season comes by, but I'm still thinking probably we can have him as a backup winger when we go into the transfer window in the summer and buy a very good winger. So I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe if he perform, yeah,
as a backup, personally, I agree. But where that would be a problem, you know, this whole thing of this news coming out about the 5 million that they can send him back to United.
yeah,
This is coming out for a reason. Is Chelsea leaking? You know, is Chelsea leaking all these informations now? Because
yeah,
generally
yeah.
speaking, nobody was aware of all this.
Nobody was
So
aware. Yeah.
I think Chelsea, with the way Chelsea, these owners they operate, I think they're sending the guy back.
Hmm.
But to your point to the points you made, as a backup is a good option. But the
Yeah.
problem now is they said Chelsea don't have an agreement on salary after the loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And currently at United it's on £375,000. So
No
at
chance.
Chelsea, even the 50%, Chelsea's paying 50% currently, which is like one
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 70, I think.
170. So if on a permanent move, I don't think Chelsea will give him 170.
Nah, I don't think so.
So that would be a problem as well.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Joseph, what do you think about Sancho being a backup for Chelsea and you know?
I think as a backup, yeah, he's not bad. He can be a squad player. But the thing is, we were a big squad as well, and then him being a squad player, he will be messing up other players' chances. So he has I don't know how many games we got left. Is it 6 games left to the season is
We've
over?
got 8 games in Premier League. 8 games.
Yeah, he will have to prove himself. The jury is out on him. So if he wants to stay at Chelsea, it depends on him these 8 games. If he gets the slightest opportunity, he needs to make good use of it. So if he can make good use of it, then obviously we can keep him because Esteval coming in is a young player and
Yeah,
Noni as well. He has his injuries and things here and there.
yeah,
So 25 million is not bad, so we can keep him. He can be a good squad player, and then we can see what we can do with him because obviously it's a long season, different competition, so he can help. But he needs to justify his inclusion. That's
yeah,
what it is. Because for the past 3 games or so that I've seen him, there's nothing that he's done that suggests that he should even be part of our squad.
yeah.
He's been absolutely woeful. Yeah, because against us now, he couldn't take on what was his name?
You couldn't
The
take on
Skelly.
yeah, yeah.
Louis Skelly.
Timber. Timber, yeah. Even
Yeah.
Luis Kelly, you couldn't, yeah, yeah.
Timber and Lewis Kelly, he couldn't cause them problems. And if you realize that game was Maresca's fault. Tyreek George gave 2 assists in
He
the
was supposed
conference
to
league.
start the
So
game, yeah.
he should have started. If you notice, even though I'm not a big fan of Dewsbury Hall, the moment Dewsbury Hall and Tyreek George came in and
The game,
Tosin Aderabio,
yeah,
they were solid because all these players had a good game in the conference league.
yeah.
So I think Maresca, that was been his problem. When a player has a good game, let's say 2 days before another game, you have to find a way to integrate him. You know what I mean? Because it's consistency. But if he plays well, then you drop them and bring in other new set of players. You stifling their progress. So, and
Definitely.
Maresca as well, I'm disappointed in him because when we're going to play Arsenal, he's been negative. This is saying, oh, Arsenal are ahead of us, and this, and that. Yes,
Yeah.
we understand Arsenal are playing well, but the gap is not big.
It's
You
not
needed to
big,
look at the gap.
yeah. It's not big.
So he being negative, he hasn't helped the team.
He
And
hasn't,
even the
yeah.
time when we were playing well, he was negative as well. Oh, we're not challenging for the league. But as a coach, you need to give the players confidence. Even if
Absolutely.
behind the scenes you can tell them that we're not ready yet, ready for the league. But you have to prop it up. Because that was where Mourinho was good at. Mourinho was good psychologically. He would get into the opponent's head.
Yeah.
But Maresca, he seems to have given up the chips. If we're going to meet Man City or whatever, oh, they better than us, they better than, oh, the gap is. No, we know the gap is not
Uh,
there.
but
Coach.
Mr. Joseph, I think at that point in that season, him making that point, that comment he made, I don't think it was totally wrong. Me and you, at that point in that season, we all know they're not ready. We all know they're not ready. Even at the start of the season, when they were performing well, I knew they were not ready because him saying that at that point, we don't know what he was saying to the players in the background. In the background, in the training ground, on day-to-day base, he might be saying to them that you can do it, but to the media, it was taking the pressure off them. That was the point of his comment. Because look at that time now. If he said, "Oh, we're in a title race," 2 weeks after that, what happened? The story would have been different
Yeah.
because
You
he
know,
doesn't want to put pressure on them. And
yeah.
this players, let's be honest, Mourinho. You made the comments about Mourinho. Mourinho as well. When he first arrived at Chelsea, I remember one of his first comments when he was referring to Chelsea as the little us or something. He was saying
Oh,
Chelsea are the little us. We're not ready. Next year there'll be a big us. And then
mm,
yeah, I just don't think they're because it needs to be we need to be realistic as well. We're not ready for the title at that
I
point.
yeah.
don't think but even though he was sort of downplaying our chances too much,
Yeah.
even though we're not
Yeah.
ready, I
Yeah.
didn't like him. And I can cut him some slack for that. But recently against Arsenal, the way he was saying, I didn't agree with him. Because yes, Arsenal have been great, but they've gone out into underline their supremacy. They ain't won no trophy. So if
Yeah,
it's
but after the Arsenal game, he said there's no. He said they've been working with the same manager for 5 years, which is correct. And he said the first and second game, he doesn't see too much gap between us that we competed, which I agree with. The first one, we competed with Arsenal toe to toe. The second one, if not for his Maresca selection, we could have even gotten a draw out of that game.
very
Mm,
much so,
And
very much so.
we competed with them. So I don't think he thinks Arsenal
I
are
thought
like really,
yeah,
really
that
better
one
than
came
us.
like about 70th minute or so. When, like I said, when you fix those changes with Adirabio and Dewsbury and then Tyree George, all of a sudden we had a cutting edge. Because that game as well in Kunku's been a huge disappointment. He had an
Nkunku is
absolute.
yeah.
I was thinking, is this the same in Kunku? Do you know what I mean? We looked drab. We wasn't attacking Arsenal, but when those changes came in, we were playing all right. So I think I haven't been happy with the selection, you know,
Yeah, the selection,
because
but that game,
anytime he was off, he kept him on the bench.
apart from maybe Tyreek George for Sancho, that Arsenal game, he didn't have any options. Let's be honest. What option? Who, if he had benched Nkunku, who would start ahead of Nkunku? Nobody.
I didn't mind maybe in Kunku, but that Tyreek George should have been integrated in that team. He should
Uh,
have taken the place of Sancho in that game. He
yeah.
should have, and let Sancho come off the bench. Because if he had started Tyreek George, Sancho's ego would have been dented. So he would have had a point to prove coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And even though I wasn't a fan of Dewsbury Hall, he had an excellent game against Copenhagen. So he should have kept him in. He should have found a
Now,
way to.
kept in him for who? Because he played Enzo, Rhys James, and Caicedo in midfield, right? So realistically, kept this bro ahead of who? James.
He could have played James at his natural position at the right back and then put Dewsbury
and
Hall.
and, and play Fofana instead of Badashiu. Maybe, but
Yeah,
Oh,
to be
yes.
you know,
There
to
you
be
go.
honest, I was so
Yes.
surprised.
No,
Particularly, I was so surprised when I
should
saw.
not gone anywhere near the team. You can't keep Badiashile on and then have Tosin Adirabio on the bench. To
Yeah,
me, with the
yeah,
current
that
Chelsea,
was a weird decision. But
choose that back. And
managers,
then you
managers, they
pair
make
him with Fofana.
yeah, I was even surprised to
Because he's very
see.
composed and he has the frame and physicality. Because
Yeah,
sometimes you need that to scare the opposing strikers, you know.
yeah, and
So
I was even.
I
I, wa-
the bench for Badiashile because Badiashile is rubbish. Let's
yeah,
face
I
it.
was even surprised he started him ahead of Chaloba.
It's
I
not
don't know.
anytime he's on, I'm scared. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because it's too slow. The guy is too slow. Sometimes fumbled a lot and cost us many problems from the back. But realistically, I felt like the point being made by Maresca when we were doing so well in November, December is something he could have avoided instead of, coming out bluntly and saying we're not in the title race. You know what I mean? We've seen Nuno, what Nuno was doing now for Nottingham Forest.
but the pressure with Nuno and Chelsea are completely
Yeah,
different.
they are quite different. But I've watched a couple of interviews with Nuno as well. He just ignored it. You can ignore such a questions. You can jump into something else. You can do some other thing. You can say something. You can always avoid conference. You know what I'm saying? You can always avoid those questions that you don't want to answer. You know what I mean? So I do agree with you, but I still believe that you see these players, the way they've grown up as a team, sometimes when they feel like the expectation is not too much, I think they have the chances of saying, "Oh, come on, if we can get a draw." Most of the games I was supposed to win, they'll have it in mind. If we get a draw, then we are a better team. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't start cooking until there's something on the fire. You know what I'm saying? You have to be burning before you can cook. So you guys are doing well already. You can't dispute the fact.
Yeah,
When Leicester win the Premier League in 2016, there's no point to prove that they are not in title race. They are really doing well, and once you are doing well, you are definitely doing well. You have to stick with the plan. You just need to go next
yeah,
season.
but
If a club came from relegation, they prove themselves and win the Premier League. I don't see anything that everybody is there to win the Premier League, is it?
yeah,
So
but
I,
the
I
point you made with Leicester and not him. I get where
yeah
you're coming from as a fan.
yeah
I totally understand it, but you need to understand the Leicester one. There was zero pressure on them until the end.
yeah
When it started getting to the end, that's when people were saying like they could actually do it. That's when the pressure like was mounting on them. With Nottingham Forest, Nuno was not being asked every single interview about title race. He was not being asked. So because the caliber of the clubs they're different. Maresca, prior to that him making that comment, he was being asked every single interview. They were asking him. They were asking him. They were asking him. They were asking him. And then finally he gave them that. Like just so take us out of the race, kind of a thing. And it was unfortunate. After he made that comment, that's when we started.
You know, we started
Yeah,
dropping points and a lot of things
points.
started happening. And the most devastating part of it is how can we jump from being on the 80 level back to 20 level? We dropped drastically from being one of the best in Premier League, and I mean, we don't just like, let's say, win two games, draw one or something. We started drawing games, losing games. I mean, we jumped from the top right back to the bottom, which is, to me, suspicious. There should have been something very, very, you know, tangible that must have affected everything. I don't know if you guys are comprehending with what I'm saying, because it's questionable. How can a club, jump from that massive performance back to, square one? It's questionable, to be honest. You know,
But the dip we've had, I don't expect. I didn't expect that dip to be long like that. But I knew at the start of the season this dip was coming, because if you look at the team, their mentality, they're fragile. They're fragile. Their mentality, they're fragile.
yeah.
So and that's because they're young. Because it's a young team. I believe this season sacking managers out of the equation. At the start of
No.
the season,
Yeah.
we've seen that he's a decent man. He is a good manager. Personally, I think he's a good manager. So this period they're going through, they will learn from it. As long as the team make top four, it's been a good season. Because at the start of the season, if you ask anybody top four this season, if you don't put the context into it, everybody will take top four.
Yeah.
So if they make top four, it's been okay, up and down season, but that's a learning curve. Next season cannot start now, and we see the same thing. Then that's a problem. If we see the same thing,
Yeah. Right. So let's just jump into the next one. There's a couple of rumor, regarding some couple of players that we're probably gonna be signing in this summer. With the like of, I think there's more rumor about Guehi and um Edson, or what's it called? I can't
all
pronounce
this
the
thing
name
from
very well.
Bournemouth.
From Bournemouth. I think
Yeah.
there's massive comparison between these two guys. you know what are you guys thinking about those options? Should we go for Guehi or should we go for young Orchison? Especially starting from, we see him starting from Spain, really did well in this international break. What sort of choice do you think we can make from these two guys?
As much as I want some experience in Chelsea
Yeah,
between Gay and Dean Hutchison or whatever his name is,
yeah,
I will go for that young kid because Gay used to be our player,
yeah,
and the case of the ex,
yeah,
because Chaloba coming back to us hasn't been great. So I'd rather we go for something totally new. Because whenever you go back to your ex club, things don't really work out. You
yeah,
can look at that coming back. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a natural phenomenon. So
yeah,
I would prefer that young kid. The fact that he
yeah,
has that Spanish blood in him, and he gave a very nice pass to, I mean, a good assist to Ferran Torres when I was
yeah,
watching the game. Yeah, so he's good. So somebody that can assist and
Yeah, yeah.
Spanish.
Obviously, Giri is a quality player, and he's a leader as well. He's been the captain of Crystal Palace for like the past 2 seasons. So I wouldn't mind him, but if I had to pick one, I'll go with Odinson, because the height, he has the height,
the eyes,
everything,
yeah,
and if you look at him, he can pass with both feet,
yeah,
left and right. Like he uses both like properly. Like his passing is just ridiculous, and
mm,
and even the defending 1v1, long legs is very like the guy is very very solid. But I would take him. I think they're saying he's the one Chelsea are chasing the most, but Real
yeah,
Madrid are after him as well, according to the
yeah,
rumors. So
yeah,
it could
Very much
be
seems to be
it could be a tough one.
my interest in being Spanish. So if we have to be very quick.
Yeah, and people like him, we need Champions League to get people like that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Very much so. Very much so. That's why personally I think whoever's gone down, we need to now stop the blame game, and everybody needs to be focused on getting that top four. Once we get the top four, then we can review the season. And like you
yeah,
said, then much better managers around. So, and Maresca, he started very well. So then we can stick with him. But if we have a thinker and another, there's a possibility of a change, then maybe I'll be up for it. Because I don't like too much change. It's good that we have this level of
You know,
consistency. But it will boil down to you know.
just a quick point about the manager. You know, I actually think the manager system at the start of the season, the reason why the system was working was, there was a bit of like flexibility. There was a bit of more flexibility at the start of the season, and we were playing much faster at the start of the season. As the season went on, we started playing slower, slower, slower. So I don't know because we can't even say they're fatigued because they're playing one game a week. So I don't even know where the problem is. But the lack of striker is a big problem in any manager system because that Chelsea team, we do everything okay leading into the box. It's just when we get to the box, there's a problem. Because if you compare Maresca to last season with Pochettino, we were struggling to create chances. But this season, we're actually not struggling to create chances. Even in the
Yeah,
games where we've lost, the Aston Villa game, all these games, we've actually created a lot of chances. But we don't take them, we don't convert the chances. That's where the problem is. Even having a number nine, we have our players are good enough to break down low blocks. But that number nine, when there's no number nine there, all this team they just sit back and we can't do anything. But if you have a number nine, I know Jackson is a nine, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not a proper in the
it's not
box
proper
number
number
nine.
nine. Yeah,
Like for example, someone like Victor Osimhen now
yeah,
or Gokare. If you put them up front in that team, just only them, all the defenders, they're keeping their eyes on them.
yeah,
There's space for Sancho, Neto, all these players. There's loads of space for them to operate because they can't just like be coming wide. But if you look at the way we play now, because they know we're trying to play through the wings, what did they do? They camp out the box and then we cannot do nothing.
mm,
It's the lack of striker that's a big, big problem for Chelsea because most of the games we play okay.
We definitely should have addressed that situation. And I don't understand it because we went the whole season, everybody underlining that we needed a striker. And then we went and bought other players without buying a striker, which was absolutely ridiculous. So I think they've learned their lesson. So definitely in the summer, they're going to
Yeah,
get
in the summer, 100% they will sign a striker. It's just a question of which
who
striker.
are we gonna sign?
and another thing is the goalkeeper because where Maresca was stubborn is it's like he gave other people chances and other people as well. When they make a mistake, he just drop them and that's it. Sanchez should have been on the bench ages ago. Even
Yeah,
though that Johnson made a mistake against Aston Villa, I would have kept him on
They're
because that
both
Sanchez has
they're both rubbish. They're both
yeah.
rubbish.
To be honest with you, the both
I prefer
goalkeeper,
Johnson
because I,
because
I
if
feel
you
like
look at
I feel like Jorgensen had
Arsenal
enough
goals
time to
during
prove
Sanchez's
himself.
game, Sanchez should have done better with the Arsenal goal against Adam Marino's header. This is not
Yeah, yeah,
something that
yeah.
should
Should
be
have
taken
done
Do
better.
you guys do you remember the Mitoma goal against us? The one he used Chaloba. The keeper should be saving that.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
I
match.
don't know if you
yeah. I
remember that
remember.
goal,
Yeah, I remember the goal. Yeah,
the
now I
Brighton one.
remember. Yeah.
It was a
So
good touch from Mitoma, but that he should be saving that. It was right in front of him.
yeah, I think Jorgensen was on the goalpost the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that day.
So
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
I
him.
think
So
Jorgensen had few opportunities to prove
It was
himself,
a
but
shame. I me personally, I would have kept him because him and Sanchez are the same. And the beggars believe as well why what's his name? Maresca sent Petrovic on loan because
yeah,
Petrovic was
yeah.
no, we should have kept Petrovic.
At this point, I think I'm confused that Maresca is being biased. I think there's some couple of players he naturally wants to see on the pitch playing, and one of them is Sanchez. To be honest, I want to believe that putting Jorgensen in one or two games is just to show the fans that, oh yeah, 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 this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? To
yeah,
me,
because
it wasn't
I don't
like
think
going for
favoritism because
Jorgensen purely that, oh, Jorgensen is a kind of a better goalkeeper than Sanchez. So his decision is just to put him there, just to satisfy the fans for the main time. And I won't be confused if I discovered that Maresca was so happy to see that Jorgensen couldn't take his opportunity because he wants to use Sanchez all the time. The same thing as Badiashile. I won't lie to you. I felt like against Arsenal, when I saw Badiashile, I was totally confused. Now I can start thinking that Maresca is being biased. There's some couple of players he really, really wanted, but because how can you start Badiashile ahead of Chalova? You called Chalova from, back from a loan. You know what I mean?
Not even
You,
Chaloba. Tosin Adirabio, because Chaloba is not on the level of Adirabio. Adirabio should have started that game.
yeah,
It
But
has to be either Adirabio with Fofana or Adirabio with Cowell or Adirabio with Chaloba. He has to be a permanent stay in our center of defense. That
yeah,
Adirabio. Because he's solid, he makes tackles, he's good in the air, you know. He offers us a lot more than the other defenders.
yeah.
He's got
You mean
the
yeah?
game.
So it's very solid, especially on the air. Most times he won all his duels from the air, and he deserves to start ahead of Badiashile to me.
yeah,
But what
yeah,
someone that just coming back from
yeah.
injury, it's just
But that
unrealistic.
I think you guys are reading too much into that. That was just a one-off game. You know the defense, all of them, they're they're not their levels are not far from each other. This Tosin one, you're only saying it because he's taller. But the shoe, I know he makes his mistake, but Tosin is not made an individual mistake, but even him too, it's not like it's undroppable. None of the
I know.
defenders
Yeah,
will, apart from Fofana. Fofana is the best defender at the club.
yeah. I agree with you with that.
Apart from him, all of them, yeah, I don't care. They're all like similar
But he
level.
gets injured. That's the problem with Fofana.
Yeah, his injuries,
He
that's the problem
gets
because he's the best defender. Even look at him, the Arsenal game, he just came back. He put in a solid performance.
Yeah, against Leicester,
yeah,
man.
yeah, he has a fire
Leicester as
in him, man.
well.
Against Leicester, I was
I
so
like him.
happy to see this guy. I mean, he's just on another level, to be honest. Fofana is, you know, is similar to Rhys James. When these guys are fit, you
I
can
like
get,
his aggression.
you can give, they can give you the best all the time. Like I was watching him like on Leicester game, and I was so impressed. First game coming back from injury, and the fact that he has the confidence to move the ball. He's just the kind of he's gonna move the ball forward. He's gonna attack. He's not gonna loiter around from the back. He's gonna move, and once he move, then you have the opportunity to press. When the defend, and that's why that's one thing we've got we've missed about Rudiger. I think Rudiger can never go out of a game without pressing. He will definitely look for that opportunity to press, to put pressures on the
And
opponent,
and
and
that's
sometimes
Fofana
that
as
really
well.
helps
You
us a
know,
Yeah,
lot.
that's what
coming out
Fofana
with the ball,
has.
Yeah,
he,
move the
he
ball, move the
energy.
ball.
Fofana is
You know
good.
what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
energy and
He has
all
a
these
fire
things,
in him.
and from there you can get a foul. From there you can get a free kick. You can get sometimes you can get a
Even
penalty.
sometimes the other players around you that will
Yeah,
like
they start
make you
gearing
up.
up
Yeah.
because pushing ball forward from the back really, really means a lot, to be honest. If you are a good defender that can push ball forward, and that's what Trent always do. That's one special thing about Trent. Trent has the confidence to move the ball forward. He's always ready to attack,
Yeah.
and that really helps. Clubs a
And
lot.
and going back to
Reece
that,
James is the same, but we just have to pray he stays fit because that Reece James, if he's fit, he's like two players in one. Oh, the
I'm
guy is
telling
special.
you,
it's not
that
like
guy is
Oh,
he's
he
two
is
amazing.
a
play,
special player.
he's
You
two
know
players
when
in one.
Tuchel used to say he shoots like a horse, he has something in his locker.
He
The only
does.
Yeah,
thing that's God is for the boy to stay fit.
Look
yeah.
at
Honestly,
look
I
at
don't
it's
know
like
what we can do.
Rich James when he's fit, he has everything.
Oh, he's
He
special.
can
He's
everything. He can defend. He can contribute to the attack. He can do everything. He can do
I
every
mean,
single.
his understanding of football is on another level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
He
And
just yeah.
I am not confused that Tuchel called him up straight away, even without, if you
because
look at,
he knows him.
yeah, because
Because he's
you
seen the
know,
guy up close. He knows what the guy can do.
I'm telling you, no, and I'm just so impressed. But the major problem, will they stay fit? Fofana, Rhys James. I want to believe if you've got these guys during this crisis period, it won't be as worse as that.
Yeah. So I think now going now because Jackson is back in training.
Yeah,
They're saying
yeah. That's what we're gonna discuss
no,
next. You know. So Jackson back to training. Cole Palmer,
Noni,
another boost for us.
Noni is back
Noni
as
is
well.
back as well. What
So
is what is our hope now? What's our hope? We've got 8 games more to prove ourselves.
No,
And, and,
Champions League
I
is a
think now to
must.
the end of the season,
Yeah,
I believe we'll make top four. I think that
wait,
we'll actually play
wait,
well now because that Jackson,
Jackson coming back now, he has a point to prove. And Cole Palmer plays well when Jackson is involved.
yeah. These guys are
yeah,
working.
Yeah.
They're working together as
the,
There's a lot of
So
lapses
it could
when
be a blessing
Jackson
in
went off.
disguise that he had that injury earlier on. It could be a blessing in disguise because
Yeah,
Jack,
point
Jackson and Palmer,
and I
they work well together. And people like Palmer, it's never just Jackson per se. People like Palmer, they need
a striker. I
a
think that
striker that moves for them to excel.
I think
You
that's one
know,
of the
and Jackson
biggest.
moves.
I think that's one of the biggest regret that Guardiola will be thinking right now. That what if I have this guy, and I have Ireland?
Haaland, yeah, he
What kind of
definitely,
world?
yeah.
What kind of world is Man City is gonna be at this point?
Because
You know,
now they had the De Bruyne replacement right there in front of them, but they let him go. Because De Bruyne now is coming to the end.
he's got no.
So
He's got. He's just at his end of his career. You know,
yeah.
there's
yeah,
nothing
He
to
needs
prove anymore. You know, there's nothing to prove. I think he's thinking about money now. I
yeah,
don't
he's
know
probably
why
gonna
he
go
doesn't.
Saudi.
He should have gone this last summer, but
He will go.
I
He will
think
probably
Man
go
City
this
did
summer.
everything to
but,
keep
but
him.
seriously, guys, I'm not being funny. I'm just begging Enzo to give us a little more of the Argentina toast.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
The way he played on Wednesday, I can't
it's
even
crazy,
worry.
bro.
Enzo
It's
was special.
crazy.
Damn,
He's too good.
guys,
He's
you know
too
this,
good. When you look
you know
at the
this
league, he's too good, man.
Enzo for Chelsea. You know, if you actually look at the guys that this international break they played well. If you look at them individually, even for Chelsea, 8 out of 10 they play well for Chelsea. Cucurella play well for Chelsea.
Yeah,
Casado
absolutely.
always play well for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Rich James, when he's fit, he play. We know his quality.
Yeah.
So if you look at all of them, really, they play well for Chelsea. But you see that Enzo, I feel like Chelsea fans, you know, the price tag of 100 million. People are too focused.
Expectants.
It's like goal and assist. If you look at
Yeah.
Enzo performance wise this season, he's actually been playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's played well every game, but he's been playing. Even the Arsenal game, he played really well. It was
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the positives.
And he seems committed. He loves the club.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
loves the club. You cannot question that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know,
Because
people like him, even that game, do you know how many assists they denied him of? The one he gave to Palmer in that Arsenal game.
yeah.
The one he
Yeah.
gave to Palmer, the one he gave to Nkuku. So all these people, yeah, I just feel like once that striker is there, a lot of
It's
people,
still
people
deal
actually
is done.
realize how good they are.
And I
It's the
think with
striker that's the problem.
sorry, with Enzo, we got to give him a free role and not bother him too much about his defensive duties.
Because he
This time,
cannot defend.
they
Yeah.
need to
But
let Caicedo do the dirty job in
but but you guys
But
need to,
Caicedo cannot do it on his own.
yeah. But we guys need to realize that
because we stifle
when
him
you
at Chelsea. You see Argentina, Rodrigo, DePaul, and
yeah,
and Paredes.
yeah.
They
Rodrigo,
do the dirty job for him. They
McAllister,
let,
they do the
McAllister is
defending
there as
more than
well.
him.
because
McAllister is there as well.
once he's
Yeah,
free,
they do the
you
defending.
let you let him off the leash. You get the best out of Enzo, and
Yeah.
that's
But
what the Argentines.
last few weeks for Chelsea, you can see Maresca is putting him closer and closer to
Closer
the
to
goal now.
Casado. Yeah.
To
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's playing more. So it's not a free role per se, but he has freedom in this current the way he's been playing recently for Chelsea. You can see he arrives in the box. He's getting a lot of time on the ball. Like the Arsenal game, he was detecting like the play. You know, there was a point in that game, the second half, where he dropped deep, even deeper than Casado.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There
the
was even a game. There was a game. He took out Casado and Enzo had to fill in into the number 6. You know, guys. What I've really discovered is Casado is a very strong guy, but to be honest with you, I don't see him as a kind of a number 6 that can play that role for a long time. You know, he
it's not
needs some help, and that's
help.
what really helped him when he was in Brighton. He was playing alongside McAllister, which McAllister is a box-to-box player. Is McAllister is that kind of a player that can play from forward to back, from forward to back, from so, and that really helps Enzo. I mean Casado a lot. When you look at some of the games that we lose this season, especially the Fulham game, you see that Casado at a point couldn't meet up with that standard, especially
Yeah,
when
but
it gets to 80 minutes. He
80
needs a
minutes
help. He needs
help.
help.
And
Now, if
that
we are
Lavia,
putting, remember we've got Palmer as a free roll man that can never come back to mark for you when you are, you know, you're on possession. I mean, you are losing possession. So now, if you've got Enzo in there, you've got Palmer in there, and you are left with Casado, and this man cannot give you that top notch performance when you are in your 80 minutes. When he's very close to the game, I mean to the players, he can always recover the ball. But when they're spreading the attack, it's difficult for him to. I don't know if you guys are comprehending with what I'm saying. At some point, he needs people that can run box to box to cover up for him. You know, so
I
that's what
think
me.
that's unfair on Caicedo.
Yeah,
He's been one of our outstanding players because every match he gives his all.
yeah,
He's been alright. It's just that it's only so much one person can do
yeah, yeah,
because Enzo doesn't help him defensive wise.
yeah.
You get
That's
me?
what I'm saying. Yeah,
And Lavia, who helps him, Lavia's not consistent. Every
it's
now and
not.
then he's injured. So there's too much work on Caicedo. And he does it with joy. He doesn't complain. He
Yeah,
does
it
everything
doesn't.
with joy.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think Chelsea, the Andre Santos been great. So if
yeah,
he will come, that's fine. But we need a commanding midfielder, a midfielder with that kind of frame like Nemanja Matic
yeah,
to pair him with Caicedo and then Enzo, and then we'll be okay. We need some commanding midfielder in the
yeah.
midfield. I don't know
So,
if the Santos can come and offer that, we'll be okay. But I don't know.
but the more realistic is that if you want to combine another midfielder, you know what I mean. If you want to combine another midfielder to help Casado, so how do you want to play the game? Where's Palmer gonna be? Where's Enzo Fernandez? That's just my worry at the moment because
But
But
there's
going,
been time. Sorry, there's been times when, like when we played Tottenham, you had both Lavia on the
and
pitch,
Casado, yeah,
Caicedo,
yeah,
and you still had Palmer. So they can do that. But the only problem is the Lavia. That was the plan, but the Lavia, the thing is, he gets
yeah.
injured too often because if he's fit as well, he's solid.
It's
Because
solid,
he's
very
very good at
solid.
interceptions, yeah. But
Yeah,
his problem is he's become a luxury. I don't know whether we should sell him or keep because every now and then he's injured.
it's injured. Yeah,
but him, I think after this season, he should be fine. I think because the problem with him, the injury he's getting is the same, is reoccurring, the
you're
same.
calling. Yeah,
Because if you look at him for Southampton in the Premier League, he played 2 seasons where they didn't drop him. 2 seasons in the Premier League, it was
No, no. When he is fit, he's unplayable. Like I said, I said Kaiser Lavia. When he's fit, he's unplayable
yeah,
because the way he has a certain swagger about him, and he can move the ball, sharp turns here and there, and make interceptions. He's a handful when he's fit, but his problem is getting
absolutely.
fit.
Yeah, it's just about getting fit. It's about getting fit. Because I've watched some of our best game this season is having Lavia and Casado from the midfield. To be honest, and that way you can be rest assured that we are on that point whereby even when we are losing possession we can always be solid, because it goes deeper than Casado, and that way it gives Casado to also be able to you know move a little bit forward and do some more dirty jobs from
So
yeah from the midfield as well. So let's just kind of round things up with the uh, we're looking into. I mean, let's say we are in the summer, and what sort of players do you think Chelsea needs to sell and keep at the end of this season? At the point we are now, let's forget about where we're gonna finish at the end of the season. What sort of players do you? Because when you look at the recent signings, we've signed Quenda, we've signed. I forgot this other guy name, but we're making massive recruitment. We've got Santos as well, Estavio, and all these guys.
and can be pass
Yeah,
offload.
Perez is there as well.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
what sort of offload do you guys think we need to do at the end of this summer?
For me, it's quite straightforward, and I think these are the people: Disbro, Nukuku, Sancho, sending back to United. So that's the three there. With the defense, the Chelsea is going. I think all the players are out on loan. They will be open to selling them. Bisasi, Gal Felix. That's five
Yeah,
players. I think, and Chiwa as well. They'll sell one of the defenders apart from Bisasi as well. Either by the shoe or Chaluba, they'll still sell one of them. And that's it. Do that. We have two midfielders coming in. Santos and the guy they bought from 14.
yeah.
That's so in that team you have Santos, Lavia, and him.
Casado.
So they say it as well. So that midfield will be fine next season because with Champions League football, by God's grace, that midfield he has perfect balance. You know what I mean?
But do
Because
do you think Santos is gonna come to be more realistically? He has tasted some kind of level of football now in Strasbourg, playing week in week out. You know what I mean?
he,
Do
he
you
will
think
definitely
do you
he's
think he's
definitely
not
staying
gonna
in the
be
team.
motivated by? Because I heard recently that Bayern Munich is trying to see if they can bring him down to Munich. Do you think we're not gonna sell him for huge amount of money if the opportunity comes up?
But Bayern wants him, but I promise you, Santos he's staying. You know those Santos, they the Chelsea owners like that
Yeah,
Santos guy. They actually have big plans for that guy. You know him is a footballer. That
yeah,
guy, like I
proper.
feel like yet we've never seen that Strasbourg. Is the assistant captain of Strasbourg already. This season is one like two, if I'm not two or even more than two players of the month in that league. So and that's his like proper first season in European
Yeah,
football. He's a solid footballer. And even preseason, I don't know if you guys watched the preseason. He was good in
yeah,
preseason.
it was really good
And
in
then,
preseason. Yeah,
and at the start of the season, the manager said Santos asked to go on loan. The club did not send him on loan. He asked to go on loan because he wants to play football. So
yeah. I think that
now,
was
him
what
coming
brought him
back into
back
this
from
team
Nottingham
now,
Forest. Yeah,
yeah. So he said he wants to go on loan in the summer because the Nottingham Forest loan
it was an
was last
unused.
season. That
Yeah,
was last
unused. Yeah,
Yeah, that was last season. So after this preseason that we had with Maresca, they were going to keep him in the team instead of Kesede who they've sold now to reach in the back. But he knew like he would not be a starter, so he wanted to go on loan. So now coming to next season, obviously he will not be a starter. But if Chelsea are in the Champions League or even if it's Europa League, there will be a lot of games. And
yeah,
Caicedo can actually be rested. Enzo
yeah,
will be rested. He will play. I think he's staying in the team. And I've seen the guy. He's come out. He did an interview like 2 weeks ago, talking about him and Estavio. He prays by God's grace. Him and they can build a Chelsea Brazilian core at Chelsea that they can
yeah.
make history at Chelsea. So you can see these boys. They actually really want to play for Chelsea.
Right. So Joseph, what do you think? What kind of players do you think we need to offload at the end of the summer? And you know, yeah, yeah. So Joseph, on to you now. So what sort of players do you think we need to offload at the end of the season?
It's gone very blurry.
You said,
I said my thing is gone blurry, sort of echoing. I wasn't hearing you
oh
guys
yeah, yeah.
properly.
I don't really
Because I
know
think
where
I
the
was my
echo is coming from. Yeah.
that.
So what I'm saying now is, what sort of players do you think we need to offload at the end of the season?
Yeah, obviously, like people like what's the name, Sancho, the jury's out on them, and Badia Shield as well. I think we have to let him go at the end of the season.
Yeah,
He's been alright, but probably need to let him go. Or if we're gonna keep him as a squad player, but there have to be some trimmings obviously in the goalkeeper as well. I'll keep Jorgensen, but I will let Sanchez go. Because Jorgensen is young and then recall Petrovic. And then I think they're trying to sign this guy, Mike Pendes or something. I
yeah,
haven't watched him, but there seem to be rave reviews about him. So I don't know, yeah. So yeah, then Chaluba as well. We have to sell. We have to sell Chaluba. I'm not too much of a fan of him.
of Chaluba. Yeah,
So, yeah. But like there are a few games to go to. So I think now, obviously what we need is to bring in a top striker and then a quality centre back and then a good goalkeeper.
Yeah,
We need that because I think the wingers we're going now stockpile there. Esteval is going to come in, and then Kendrick Paez as well is there. So we will see what happens. But Mudrick situation, I think we'll have to cut our losses and sell him. Use
yeah,
him as a bargaining
yeah,
chip
yeah, yeah.
to get something.
Absolutely.
We have to sell him because he hasn't given us what he's supposed to give us. And then with his drug case and everything, although he seems like he's not guilty and everything, but I don't think we probably will see the best of him. It's wishy-washy. He's good one game, another game, his goals missing
You know,
and stuff. He
yeah,
hasn't been great for us and with the price tag and everything. So I think Mudrik, yeah, we have to offload him.
yeah. Because the more realistic about him is even when
Mudrik
he's
is Mudrik is not about offload now. The guy is going to get suspended. They can't even sell him.
yeah. So I think we just
But
have
it
to count our
seems like
loss on
there's been
Modric.
some okay. So if he's exonerated, he will be eligible to play for next season. So we could sell him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if in that case, let's be real. Who will buy Mudrik?
yeah. That's the point. I believe it's a wrong
He doesn't
investment for Chelsea.
admire. He's not a bad player, but I think sometimes not
No,
the
after
right
what just happened,
capacity.
it's not played for a year.
I think our club don't suit him. That's what I think. It's a shame from hindsight because if we knew this was going to happen, we should have bought Trossard because we almost had the Trossard deal done,
Yeah,
and
we
then we
almost
saw
signed
Mudryk
Trossard.
and
We had
God forbid. Okay, we know Mudrik is rubbish, but Trafford is all these people you're saying they're not Chelsea.
and I
nobody would
think
have scored goals. He scored vital goals.
but
Whatever you think, he's a good addition. You know,
Is better than Mudrik, but it's not a starter. When everybody's fit at Arsenal, it's not even a starter for Arsenal.
but he
So
served their bacon on a few occasions. He scored some incredible goals for them.
yeah,
You know
but
that,
even
that's
for
it.
Arsenal, when everybody's fit, it's not a starter though.
yeah,
It's not a starter at Arsenal.
I think
Because he's
with
much effective as an impact player.
yeah,
But he is giving them the 3 points. He scores crucial goals. And
yeah,
at the
yeah,
end of the day, you want to win matches. That's what it's about. So,
yeah,
considering his input at Arsenal, he would have been better off.
yeah.
I mean, would have been better off if we had gotten him from hindsight instead of Mudrik. But, you know,
Yeah,
we
obviously it's easy to say now, but the way Chelsea
Because
fans are as
you
well at
know,
that time,
I think we've struggled to get a better right wing since Eden Hazard left Chelsea. I think we had William for some time, really did well, but to be honest, we struggled, and I think we missed out on a very very important player that I think Lampard really tried to bring, Anthony Gordon, but.
yeah.
I think if we've got Gordon, it will have solved our problems. I mean, the long time problem we're facing at the moment. So I think we really
but
missed
now
out on it.
in the summer that will start changing because that Estavio, okay, he's 18. Obviously, I don't expect him to. He will not carry Chelsea, but people like that, they're wingers.
But
You give him a
Estavio
bit of
plays from
time
the right wing. Play from the right wing.
from the left.
We
So
might have to.
and,
I mean, we
from
might
the
from the
right,
right. We
from the
might have
right.
to convert Pedro Neto fully onto the
Definitely
right
what
wing.
he brings, I would have preferred.
And
Yeah, I would have preferred that Nico Williams because he's great. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for,
yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah.
summer, those are the people that's on the list. Apparently, they're saying him,
Rafael
Rafael,
Rafael is another good option for us.
yeah,
yeah,
him,
he's great.
Nico Williams. They said
Yeah,
those are the people they're looking.
and this guy from Juventus, Yedil, or what's it called? Yedil, the guy from
The
Yedis,
Turkey,
yeah.
the
So
Turkish guy.
I mean, we just need a proper right-footed player that can play from the left. You know what I mean? A proper right, and to me, I feel like there's something we need to look into as well. If we are going for a striker, if we are going for a striker, a proper striker, I mean, for me, all day I would want Victor Osimhen, and it's just because this guy has a proven record. This guy can give us everything that we want. To be honest, For a player
And
to
he wants to play for Chelsea.
go into international break and score 3 goals in most difficult time is something very, very, proven. So if we can get a player like Victor Osimhen, I will have backed Chelsea not to buy a winger because when you have Nico can play as a winger as well. He has proved it so many times. Even last season, where Poch tried to use him as a winger, he really did well because he knows how to drive the ball. So I would have said maybe probably we can have a kind of a drama from Nicholas Jackson from the wing and something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if that really makes sense. But I feel like if we signed a proper striker, maybe like Osimhen, we can just go away from signing a winger because we have Nicholas Jackson. He's a striker, but sometimes when you see the way he plays, he can give you some kind of a vibes from the wing, which I
On the
believe,
wing.
yeah.
I
So
think Jackson can play on the wing, but
yeah, it's just about.
we all know the manager,
It's
this
not gonna.
manager
Yeah,
specifically, is not going to do that.
he's not gonna do that. Yeah, but to me, I would have preferred to have Jackson on that left flank and have the kind of either Estavio, anybody that is coming in for other Pedro Neto or someone else from the right wing, Jackson from the left wing, Palmer from the number 10, and have a good striker down there. They can be more productive.
I agree, I agree. But the same one, now we know for sure we think Chelsea will get a left winger and a striker.
And the
They
striker,
say
yeah,
that's their priority. So
yeah,
it's just a matter. We hope it's not some 18-year-old striker and
yeah.
18-year-old winger.
I hope it's not the lap. It's not the lap.
You know the lap thing. Personally, like you said, Osimhen is my ideal striker
Yeah,
because he wants to play for Chelsea,
he wants
and
to
in the
play for
summer,
Chelsea,
and
and he's
in
a
the summer
proven
we know
striker.
they were close. So
Yeah,
to get the deal done, it's just a matter of salary. We know it won't
salary.
be
Yeah, we
it will be
know where the
straightforward.
problem is. Yeah,
But Gokaires, or if Chelsea, if they're crazy, if the owners, the owners are crazy. If they want to spend money on Alexander Isak, we don't mind. Those
yeah.
three, if they're not getting any of those three, they're not serious.
They're not serious. We are not ready for anything. To be honest, we're not
Because
ready for it.
the D-Lab guy is different to Jackson, but is he really the one that will give you 20, 30 goals? I
No,
don't
I
think
would.
so.
I would go for Mateta ahead of the lap.
Yeah,
I'll go for Mateta ahead of the lap. If that really
but
makes sense, I'll go for Mateta
yeah.
ahead of the lap. Joseph, we can't hear you clearly. To be honest, oops, we still can't hear you. We can't hear you at all. Oh, Tunde, can you hear Joseph?
I cannot hear him.
We can't hear you at all.
Yeah, we can hear you a
We
bit
can hear
now.
you a bit, a bit.
We can't hear you.
No, yeah. Joseph, can you just maybe can you log out and log back in? Probably it's gonna come back. We can't still hear.
He's saying
Joseph.
bye.
Oh, bye. Okay, all right. All right. Yeah,
Yeah, I think maybe we'll join again.
yeah.
Maybe we'll join
So
again.
yeah,
So yeah.
so to be honest with you, to be more realistic, I don't know. We just get Osimhen deal done. This guy is a proven striker. This guy can score from every angle of the game.
Yeah.
You can. There's some couple of games we've played this season, and I'm like, we can switch pattern of play if we have a very good striker. We
Because
can.
if you have people like Osimhen up front, they will just bring a different dynamic,
They
something
can,
different.
yeah, they can bully defenders at any time. They can bully goalkeeper at any time. They can go. You can change the ball to Look at Chelsea this
And
season.
and
We have
people
not
like
played
Osimhen sometimes they make goal out of nothing. But that
nothing.
Jackson,
That's what I'm
that
saying. Yeah,
Jackson, he cannot make goal
he
out of anything.
can't. He can't.
He needs
He
he
need a
needs
proper
proper
game
chance.
plan, a proper assist, and everything. But people
Yeah,
like Osimhen, they don't need too much of things. They just need opportunity, slight
yeah.
opportunity. They can make something happen. So I don't know why we can't get this deal done and run away from all this noise of. You have Cole Palmer there. Just bring in that right striker. I don't. To be honest, me. You see, Gyökeres, Sesko, those guys are good to be honest. I appreciate their effort. I appreciate, but these guys to me are just a seasoned player. We've just heard about them last season and maybe joining up this season. But
Yeah.
Osimhen has been existing for quite a
For,
time.
four seasons, 5 seasons
When
since
you when
he
you
laid
track
in
his even when
France.
you track his record to under 17, he has done some he has bullied a lot of goalkeepers. He has bullied a lot of defenders. He has done some unforgettable things.
Yeah.
So why not getting this deal done? We know Chelsea don't want to pay too much, but you are signing a striker.
The money,
Man City,
the transfer fee is not even the
it's
problem.
not a
It's that
problem.
salary.
Man City is paying Ireland close to 400,000. Isak is earning good money at. You can't. A striker is very expensive,
Yeah.
because they know what they want to give to you, and that's very much important to them. The salary. They don't care how much you are buying them from the
Because
club.
even Osimhen, if they will make him, obviously with the wage cap they're doing now, even
Yeah,
if they make Osimhen the highest earner,
yeah.
it's fine. He
It's
deserves
fine.
it.
It's still
So
good.
it's still
All
good.
you have to do is let Sterling go, cancel Sterling deal.
And
You know,
Chilwell.
Ben Chilwell. Then you can. I'm very sure in the team, no one can be like expecting more. I mean, if you put Osimhen on a good salary, the team cannot look at it like, oh, because he's a striker, he
And
score
and
goals.
all this, the rest of the team, they're on 7, 6 years contract anyway.
Yeah.
So
So, a striker deserves to get paid well. You can't expect someone earning 250 euros from Italy to slash his salary to 170, 180 without. And remember, he's going to pay tax as well. So,
yeah,
this player
tax here
wants to
is
live a
even
good
bigger
life.
than where it's coming
Yeah.
from.
They want to play football, but as well, they want to live a good life. They want to get paid well.
Like it
So,
deserves.
I,
So
I wish
and
we can. I wish we can even get the deal done, and he can join
so
us from the Club World Cup. We can
yeah.
start the deal from there. To be
I,
honest,
I think if they don't get him, it'll be that Gokares or Dilap. Is that
I
name is
don't,
out of them three.
and that's why I'm being scared. Because I was a little bit. We were expecting to sign a striker in January, but what I heard was Chelsea was focusing on a particular striker, and I don't know. Maybe it's a young striker, but the striker is not ready to come
In January.
in
So
January.
it
There's
sounds
a
like
way.
maybe it's Osimhen.
Maybe
Yeah.
I probably think maybe the
Because
lab, but I would be
yeah,
so disappointed if we signed the lab. To me, I
Dilap.
would say that we are not serious yet. But
Yeah.
Osimhen alone, signing that Osimhen can put us on another level.
Yeah.
I mean, we can compete. We can compete in the Premier League. And forget, he's a kind of a player that he doesn't have a problem in prove. He doesn't need anything to prove. He will just come in and
He's a
give
proven
us. He's a
striker.
proven
He's a
striker.
proven
He's gonna give
striker.
us that quick result, and then we can move on from there.
Yeah.
So, but let's
Honestly, in the summer, the fact we were to the deadline day, we
yeah.
thought we were going to. The fact they were
I'm
really
telling you,
making us,
bro.
we
I
were
was on my
really,
phone.
really,
I was on my
yeah,
phone for 6 7 hours.
refreshing.
I just want to see. Here we go. The deal is done because I think Mikel was a big fan of that transfer. He was
Yeah.
making a
Even to
huge effort.
now, Mikel said on his podcast a few weeks ago, he said obviously, he has access to, he knows what happened, what
Yeah,
went
yeah,
on.
absolutely, yeah.
So he said on his podcast, he said he knows what happened. He knows where the deal stopped.
Fall
So
short,
he's
yeah.
so he's saying if Chelsea want to make it happen, that it's very, very straightforward. If they want to make it happen. He said it's
Everything
very,
is
very
on
straightforward.
everything. They know where they're going. They know where they stop from. So
Yeah.
everything is online. So just follow the footstep, get the deal done. We
And
know it.
and and Obi keeps saying, Osimhen is a Chelsea fan. He wants to play for the club. So
Yeah,
I'm sure it's like they're talking in the background.
yeah.
So
Of course, of course, of course, of
those
course they do.
we all
Yeah,
know, to be honest, that Osimhen really wants to come to
he
Chelsea.
wants to. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in the summer, these owners, it's just like I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes the plan they said they have, this project they're shouting. If they go sign this Delap here,
It's a, it's a
there's so
big minus.
yeah, it's because Osimhen is not even like 100 million. They say
Yeah,
it's like 65 million pounds.
sixty-five, seventy
You're
million.
signing 18-year-old wingers for 60 million,
Yeah,
50
I
million.
don't know.
So
That's why I'm kind of don't understand. By now, we should have done Osimhen deal first. That's the main priority now. All these young boys that you are signing, they can come next. We've got Estavio. We've got. That's not the priority. Get a
yeah,
striker. Get that striker deal done first. Then we
yeah,
can think of, even if you want to build a team of a young boys, you need to. You can't do it just like that. You need to follow the process gradually. And when you look at Barcelona, and that's what I used to say, like when you look at Barcelona, Barcelona is one of the club that is using the youngest players around the world. But
yeah.
they know that they cannot gamble the number 9 role with a young fella. That's why they
Lewandowski,
put Lewandowski. Yeah. And when you look at most of their games, Lewandowski take much of impact, in the games. You take
yeah,
a lot. You can always feel the experience from this guy.
yeah.
You know.
Because
So
that you can get away with inexperience in other
yeah,
areas of the pitch,
yeah,
but you know that striker because all these tactics that we're saying, there's no whatever tactics Maresca has. If there's no striker there, the players there, the wingers, because the wingers now at Chelsea, all the players, all the attacking players, there's pressure to score goals.
yeah.
But when people like Osman are there, they're taking the pressure off everybody else.
Everybody else, yeah,
So that's why that we need to make that all these Dilab, they're not seasoned players. Even
they
to
know.
come now, if they don't score for three games,
They'll fall ashore.
confidence is gone.
Confidence is lost.
But
Yeah,
for people like Osimhen, even if they don't score for 3 games,
they'll come back.
they will come back,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
yeah,
So I think if they know what they're doing, with the rumors that are coming out, they're saying Chelsea, like now, they're saying they're working, they want to do all their deals for the club. You know, the Club World
Club
Cup.
World Cup. Yeah, yeah.
They want to do all their deals.
They'll
They made
before the commencement. Yeah,
so if it's looking that way, we'll see. If it's Osimhen, they just get Osimhen. That Nico Williams might be very hard, but if you can
it
get
might be
Nico
very hard.
Williams,
I don't think it's gonna come to Premier League. Those guys they are
Premier League,
traditional. They are traditional players. I don't think it's
yeah.
gonna leave Spain.
If
But
Barcelona want him, but if
yeah,
Barcelona cannot afford him,
they can't. Barcelona cannot afford him. To be honest,
if they cannot afford him,
he
then
might.
he
That's
might
when it think of coming to Premier League. Yeah.
Premier League
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, because last season he signed a new contract and he came out said he wanted to stay 1 more year. So that
Yeah.
1 more year is here now. So let's
I,
see what it
I I
does.
believe I believe he's waiting for Barcelona. I
Yeah,
believe he's waiting.
I
Maybe probably Barcelona can get something done before the end of summer and probably bring him. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah,
yeah we'll see. But even the winger, I'm sure they will try to get some winger. The winger, as long as it's a good winger, I'm not really particular like on
yeah.
one specific winger. As long as somebody that can just give us something, dribble.
Some vibes. Yeah,
Somebody that not somebody that will always be there passing back, passing back, passing back.
yeah. Someone that
So
can move the ball, that can pull pressure, that can get us fouls, get us free
fouls,
kicks,
win
penalties,
penalties.
and all these things. That's what we
Because
need.
that other side is fine. Madueke, we don't know what they will do with Madueke now, but that's Madueke,
Pedro,
Estadio,
Estavio,
Neto,
Quenda,
and and that corner is coming the year after. So
2026. Yeah.
yeah,
So
but you see that Estavio,
yeah,
it's not even like I'm hyping that kid up here.
yeah.
I've stayed up to watch his game 2 o'clock in the midnight. That boy
Wow.
is serious. That
Hmm.
boy, that
Yeah.
boy is serious. Like he's one of them players. Like the way he moves with the ball, I don't even think he will come to Premier League. He will need to adapt,
Yeah.
and maybe he will need to get strong physically. But that guy, like 1v1, that boy, the way the ball is glued to his leg, like, and is that one of them people? The way he carries himself, it's not normal. People like Neymar, they're saying this is the next big Brazilian star. They're
Hmm.
just not saying that for no reason. Like
Yeah.
people like in Brazil, they're saying this guy is the next Neymar. Obviously, I'm
Hmm.
not saying he's going to be good as Neymar,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if he's
But they're
50% of
seeing the
Neymar,
vision. Yeah. Sometimes you see visions of wow, what this person is trying to prove is just. Yeah, we've seen he's broken Neymar's record. So Yeah, we can start comparing. We can start saying this because when people, that's why Lamine Yamal, people are hyping him. When you start breaking record at a young age,
Records,
that's
yeah,
that sort of means that you're a serious footballer and
yeah.
you want to
So
get business done.
yeah, because look
Yeah,
at Lamine. It's not like he's as good as Messi, but he's still a
yeah.
very, very
It's
good
still
player.
very very serious and
Estavio,
very realistic.
we don't need him to be. If he's good as Neymar, good, but we
Good
don't even need
for
him
us.
to be that good.
Yeah, we just need something that will be productive. At least if we can get him to replace Hazard for us,
Yeah,
we can know that we'll dominate for some time in
and with
Premier League.
people like that, with
Mm.
this coming out, that's pressure. Palmer will have, all these teams that they're just doubling up on Palmer now.
They have business to do. They have a lot of
Business
business
to
to do.
do.
Yeah.
But if you put Osimhen in the box,
Oh
that is
my
Savio there,
goodness. I mean, just look at it. If you have Osimhen up there, it means Palmer can even have chances of
chance,
scoring more goals, creating more chances.
chances.
Oh my goodness.
Because these owners, honestly, it's not even the owners. The owners, the money is there. Is the sporting, those sporting that win Stanley,
Yeah,
and that is them two guys. They, Dilap, it's them that they're focusing on that Dilap guy
yeah,
because one of them has worked with Dilap before at
yeah,
Man City. So that's what they're focusing on. They need to get Osimhen because that Osimhen signing with Osimhen in that team next season, there's nothing stopping Chelsea from competing for the Premier
Premier
League.
League. Yeah, 100%. They knows. They knows. This,
So they need to make that Osimhen happen. And the summer is fast approaching, so
yeah,
I guess we'll see what they do. But hopefully, one thing we know they will spend money,
yeah.
but they should spend it on the
The
right
right
people.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Thank you very much, boss. I really appreciate. We've had a very good time tonight, and thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate. And yeah, I hope to see you guys very very soon. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Mr. Tunde, Tato, and
Joseph.
Joseph. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope to catch up with you guys next time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so on to the next one. Thank you very much. Appreciate.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Take care.
All right,
And
bye.
yeah,
Take care.
it's good
Cheers.
to being on here as always. Good.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate. Yeah.
No worries.
All right, bye. Cheers.
Bye.